Also, I really appreciate your perspective on croaking, and I'm wondering two parts. First of all, has Esther ever misinterpreted Abraham? And when Esther croaks, is there anyone else in line to be the interpreter?
Well, all of you are ready. Because of the words that Esther has found, there are millions of you who now understand what alignment is. And so you are no longer needing someone to interpret. You've always had this flowing to you. And as you are paying attention, you now are receiving on your own, you see, which was the whole point of all of this. Words don't teach. It's only life experience that teaches, isn't it? And so, what was the first part of your question? Has Esther ever misinterpreted? Her ability to translate with precision today is better than it was yesterday. And yesterday was better than the day before, and the day before, and the day before. In other words, because her alignment with us is more consistent. There was only one time ever that Jerry asked Esther to get Abraham that she was unable to bring in Abraham. And it was the day the neighbor's dog got into the chicken yard and killed some of her precious chickens. And Esther was so distraught, she could not find us. We were right there with the chickens. But she could not find us. So as far as the interpretation goes, we would far rather that you find your own interpretation. Esther was not born to interpret for you. Esther was born to interpret. But when you give her the responsibility for what you were born to do, then after a while it gets a little out of whack, doesn't it? You can become dependent on something that you need not be dependent upon. There is not one of you who is not an extension of source energy. And there's not one of you whose source energy is not aware of. And there's not one of you who is asking that source isn't answering. But you are in varying degrees of receptive mode. The reason that Esther was a good receptor is because she had not made up her mind against anything at the time that she began meditating and received us. And she had a man next to her who was insatiable about the questions that he had. He had so much that he wanted to know. And so they were a very good coupling because he had strong desire. And Esther was a bit like the beasts, sort of non-pushing against anything. And so that combination allowed a very wonderful unfolding for all of this. Now, these days, really wouldn't matter what was going on. Esther could focus herself into alignment with us. And many of you can do the same.